Hello and welcome back to another one of these character spotlights for new characters. Today I'm going to be showing off Skree, the final Starstorm knot, at least I believe, unless they're planning a secret one, kind of like Penny. But Skree is certainly another interesting character, and just to keep in mind, a lot of these skills and abilities may be tweaked and revamped, because right now this is like the first beta where they're actually giving it out to people, as with all of my other videos like this. This is just the very, very first look at Skree. The voices aren't even in, not all the sound and the assets are in, so it's just an early look to see how his mechanics work, and he's a fairly interesting character. He's an area control, harasser, damage dealer, and his mobility is swift, and that I'll talk about all of those kind of things later. And these skills, I'll show you specifically what those do. Now, Skree has a very interesting set of skills. He's got this blade that I'll show you in a second. And these are the upgrades. Right now, this one's broken. I don't even know if it works or not because I didn't feel like trying it. But I'll show you these skills when we get into a game. I'm just doing a practice game because I don't know anybody personally that has the beta. Ooh. Man, Skree is really powerful on this map. But the first thing to notice about Skree is that he is insanely fast. I don't know any of the figures, but I would guess that he is about the speed of Coco, if not faster. And so that, if you know me at all, you know I like going boots first because I love mobility. But I feel he is, look at this, he's faster than the other knots without the boots. It is crazy. But anyway, his first skill is called Buzzsaw, and what it does is it sends out a buzzsaw, and you can change the range by clicking again, sort of akin to Sentry's black hole. See, if you want to fire it short, then you just press it again really quick. It acts as like a buzzsaw. When characters go into it, these bots are so stupid. Whenever the characters go into it, they start taking damage, just like a real buzzsaw. Now, his AA attack is sort of like the zappy thing that it goes from target to target, if you can see. If there's only one target, obviously it only goes to one, but if we look at this, see how it sort of arcs to different characters? And so it's very nifty that it damages multiple things. Thing to keep in mind with the buzzsaw droid, not buzzsaw droid, the buzzsaw ability is, what am I going to say? When you click it again, it comes back and deals the same amount as initial damage. So you can sort of use it as a quick burst. It's almost like Coco's fall. But the other thing I was going to say to keep in mind is it only fires laterally. It only fires in one direction. So you have to be sort of careful aiming with that. It doesn't matter which way you aim it. As you can see, my mouse is pointing down, and I fire it, and it still shoots it to the side. It has a fairly unique property that you can sort of leave it there and bring it down, and it will go through anything. So it can be a little bit hard to aim, but I mean, he's fine. Another initial thing you might want to keep in mind is his jump is unlike any other character. Most characters have a double jump or a triple jump, and if they don't, what they do is they have a glide mechanic, like who am I thinking of? Genji has the sort of bursts and stuff. Voltar has his really nice glide, but Skree is totally unique in that he has a just complete hover, and I believe it's unlimited, so he can just sit wherever he wants to in the battlefield. Now granted, it's sort of like Vinny in that he is very easily interrupted from that. So if you're facing a Leon, or you get any type of damage, you drop. Like, let's see if you can hit me. Hit me, dude. Dude, bots are so stupid. Bots are so dumb. But it may just be because they haven't programmed in the AI yet. So his jump is definitely a very unique feature of him. Lets you do some pretty interesting stuff. Lets you sort of float wherever you need to be. Now, his secondary skill is sort of second place. This jump thing is not even there, is it's sort of a deployable totem pole. You might be wondering, what in the world do I want a totem pole for? Well, what don't you want a totem pole for? What this does is it creates a solid barrier akin to this guy right here. It is very useful, so you can drop it there and they can't go past that. It is a physical barrier, like they cannot move past it. And so it is a very, very good ability. You can do some very interesting things with it. You can do sort of like bullpins, you can do like if you trap someone in this. That's why I think the height upgrade is definitely going to be the most used one. See, right there, it just saved him because he would have shot and chased him. It's a very good team player weapon. So it's a very powerful ability right now. I think it's a little too strong at the moment. But if we go back to the shop, I'll show you some of his more interesting upgrades that you can purchase. Like, I don't even think the speed is necessary. But some of the interesting upgrades you can do is, I think this is definitely going to be a always pick. What it does is when you fire the droid, it fires, first upgrade, it only fires 2, sort of laterally, horizontally. The second upgrade, where is it? It fires 4 in a direction like that. I think they're exactly the same as Coco's superconductor shots. And if you fire him one more time, it becomes 6 in a hexagonal pattern. I don't quite have the money for that, but I'd show you if I could. Another interesting thing about Skree is he's the only character that can sort of hide places like that. When he teleports, he can very easily teleport out of situations, which makes him fairly good at escaping, although, you know, interruptions are pretty bad. It's not quite like Sentry's teleport, but it's still an interesting mechanic that they've added into the game. So, oh, I thought I created my thing, but I didn't. But his sparks aren't his AA isn't exactly the best. Yeah, it hits a lot of things, but it doesn't exactly hit things for powerful. I tried a little bit of a AA build, because Penny was pretty strong with the AA, and then now you're stuck in here. The really cool thing is that dang it. The really cool thing, I've always been a Froggy hater. I hate playing against Froggy. But the great thing is, he can't dodge through these, which is awesome. Finally, a way to just hard counter a Froggy and just say, nope, you can't escape from this. This is the one bad situation you can't escape from, which is nice. Of course, I've only played against bots, so I don't know how useful that is. I think the totem is also incredibly useful for pushing. It's not only an offensive weapon, it's also a defensive weapon, which is pretty cool. What other fun upgrades? This guy right here, he lets you, the lightning bolt hit the users again, so it can bounce from one guy to back to the first guy, because without that upgrade, if you hit 2 guys, it'll hit the 2 of them, it'll hit boom, boom, hit the second guy, and it won't go back, even if you have another person to hit there. So that's sort of the main thing with that. Like, if you look, the only thing with that is you have to, there has to be more than one person, because it has to bounce between 2 things for that upgrade to take effect. It does let your attacks be much more meaningful, but it's still a very situational upgrade, because it doesn't help. When I heard that, I thought, oh, it just sinks the rest of your attacks into 1, you see? But that's not what it does. It still only goes to 1 character, and it's not exactly the most useful upgrade. Another thing that I hope the devs will do is make it more visually apparent how far the zap weapon goes. As you can see, he is very maneuverable, but again, granted, these are bots, and these are not exactly the smartest characters. Another thing is the AI, when it concerning the totems with the droids, their instinct is to just shoot. Oh, look at that! That is interesting. That is very nifty. Get him! Get him! Get him! Boop! So they've definitely included some very interesting characteristics to this guy. And because they've linked jump height with speed, once you get these boots, you jump. I don't know why they go backwards. Why do you go backwards? So this is one of those things that you can do. You can sort of set up a trap, ultimate killing, and do things like that. It's fairly nifty things you can do. But like I said, visual indication would be nice on how far your static gun goes. And potentially some indication of how many jumps you have, because it's very hard to tell how many jumps something has left on it. But like I said here, if you look, you can basically totally deny all damage on the droids, and so you can make really effective pushes. Like right here, we'll just... Now they're stuck. And doing lots of damage to them. And when you get the cooldown reduction upgrade, you can drop these ridiculously fast, and they're very good early game. You definitely want to pick that up first. It's one of those things, but you can just, left unattended, you can just murder a turret with some droids. Your utility is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. That's the only thing I can say. So yeah, that is Skree, almost in a nutshell. I might do a sort of custom match where you can see a sort of fully upgraded Skree in action. Ow! But for now, I'm not actually going to let this match end, because I'm in the middle of recording my Race to Prestige series, so I can't get any extra experience. But let's head over to a custom match and just show you what a fully upgraded Skree is. Granted, like I said before, this is early beta, so it's it's most definitely not final product. So if we go over here, get something like that, I don't know. Let's test to see if the slowing effect does anything. But this will... Oh, I forgot to. I'll be right back. Okay, I just forgot to add the starting cash so that we're all millionaires. But I've noticed sort of a recent trend is that the bots don't deal very well with the new knots. They've been pretty horrendous in the past with not following common sense. And so now with these knots that really rely on movement and not being stupid, like Sentry and now Skree and in some senses Penny, it becomes a really big problem because they do really stupid things. So they'll just sit there and jump against dumb things. See, that's always been a problem, I think. But those are big juicy turrets there. You can sort of do some crazy pushing with a Skree. Like, if you look how powerful that is, that basically denies anyone from going anywhere. And quite a lot of damage, 70 damage, which is almost as much as a fully charged snipe, which is pretty crazy. And it's fairly easy. As you can see, like right there, well, that was exactly what I was talking about, is they just sort of sat in this field, and you kind of don't want to do that. You kind of want your bots to not be dumb, but look how fast I can pull these guys out. 3 seconds. See, they're just taking a little bit of damage. I could even kite that damage, and look at that, more of them. And when the bots come, oh, I just send my... Oh, well, I missed, but the point still stands. Is see how fast this gets liquidated with being able to completely protect your droids. It's a very powerful. Boop. And so it's a very nifty concept. It's not quite as drastic as Sentry's Sentry's abilities and stuff, but it's still a very unique concept of being able to just sort of change the battlefield and say, hey, look, there's a wall here now. You have to deal with that. You have to deal with that. And it's as always, very cool aesthetic. They always do a good job. So I'm very pleased with the look. The only thing I would say is change the hover ability to be more akin to Voltar's, because I think it's a little bit powerful. With him having that speed and the hover ability, it's like ridiculous. Another thing to point out, which you might not have seen me use recently, well, not yet recently, is you can hold it, sort of like raise Time Rift, and launch it. So at first I thought it was just like you drop one on you, and I think that would be more balanced than being able to launch it, because you can probably do some pretty crazy launches. And although that is a pretty nifty skill ceiling, and it's always good to include a nice skill ceiling into things, but you can sort of deny movement like that. You can make people really jump around with the jump pads and stuff with the walls. You really mess up with characters' AI like that. See how they just jump? Their first instinct is to jump because they say, oh, there's a wall there. So I think that maybe needs to be fixed, just because the AI isn't intelligent enough to deal with that. But I think that should be it for this little reveal of Skree, rather. A rather powerful knot, but hopefully they'll do a good job at balancing and not release a OP Starstorm character, because another trend I've seen recently is that most of the Starstorm characters, they've got a ton of advantages. Like Penny, to me, doesn't have any disadvantages. She only has not good matches. She doesn't have any like straight counters, which is kind of I don't know. It just doesn't seem right that a character should be at least decent against everyone. All of the other characters have pretty hard counters. I mean, like characters you just don't do good against as a certain character. But with the Starstorm characters, they just seem to be so utility and so powerful that it really doesn't matter who you're up against. That granted, I haven't played any matches with real humans, but I don't think there's anyone that just completely shuts down Skree. Not from the hour or two I've played of Skree, because he just came out recently. Nope, lol. I'm gonna teleport here because I can. You can create like little nooks, and you can actually create yourself untouchable positions that you can teleport out of. An interesting one that I did in my practice matches is I did something like this on their side of the match, and I just teleported like that, and even the AI couldn't get by that, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, okay, I think that's gonna be it. This is the new Skree character. Very, very cool character. Very nifty things. There's still visual bugs and problems. I don't know where the actual hitbox is for that. But of course, hopefully all those will be ironed out before they're released to the general public. As I'm often asked about this, how can you start playing this character? First of all, you have to have purchased the beta access tier of the Starstorm Kickstarter. Oh, tried to aim that. And if you have done that, because a lot of people did, it was a $30 tier. At least, if you've done that and you own the Starstorm beta, just go to your Steam page and look at your library, and in your library you'll have a tab for Awesomenots, obviously. If you right click that and go into properties and then say I think it's like the beta section of the tab, you say opt into whatever upgrade. Will be like the 2.5, I believe, for this guy to play as Skree. So that is how you gain access. And then what it will do is it will upgrade your client to the latest version, or whatever version of the beta you pick. And then you can play this, but you're disabled offline mode, because obviously if other characters have changed, you can't play with all the other characters. But then you just have to go into that tab again and opt out of the beta so that you can start playing Awesome Nuts normally. But anyway, that will be it for today, so thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time. Oh, yoink. Whoa. Did that just, like, eat some of the characters? Yeah, it did. See ya next time.